Hi, Victoria. I appreciate you being willing to show me the extent of those cuts. Um, so I saw some are pretty fresh, and I don't know how fresh, but I saw some that looked like they had also been scabbed and scarred over. Um, so my first question really is like, how long has this been going on? Like, what's the earliest that you remember using self harm as a way as like a coping mechanism? Okay, it was last year. Okay, and they were sports. Okay, yeah, like you said that they were. Um, you kind of pass them off as sports injuries, or that's what people believed. Okay, that's okay. So, given what you kind of explained about the pressures that you were under academically from your parents and how how close your scores were to that other student, um, not to mention the consequences and punishment that you received from your parents in terms of them taking stuff away, um, despite your scores being remarkable and qualifying you for a lot of scholarship opportunities. It's, I mean, based on how down you were feeling about it, it's understandable that you went to a place of self injury to try and cope with some of those big feelings. Um, studies have shown, several studies have shown, that when teenagers self injure, it's a way to kind of interrupt those really big feelings that feel like insurmountable and like you don't have the space to feel them. So, considering they're pretty fresh, one of the things that I'd like to do, among a couple things, but one of the things I'd like to do is practice a replacement behavior. And a replacement behavior is something we can do when we have the thought of self injury and cutting in particular. But instead of cutting, we replace that behavior with something else, right? I'm not telling you to eliminate the thoughts necessarily, because this isn't something that we can obviously, eliminate overnight. And I don't want you to over stress about it. But by practicing some replacement behaviors, we can start to build in some more healthy coping mechanisms instead of self injury, you know? Um, so, one of the things that I would like to try as kind of a baseline is called grounding. And I don't know, this is a fairly popular one, a fairly common one. A friend of yours has used it. Okay. So, the way that I think one of the things that I like to tell students, especially ones who have, been exposed to self injury or had self injury, is to think about the room they're in, right? Self injury and the need to feel can be kind of an out of body experience, if that makes sense. So, one of the things I like to kind of start with is you kind of get your posture and you look down at your feet and you look and you tell yourself, I am where my feet are. Okay? I am where my feet are. And it's a way for you to experience things kind of in the now and in the moment and the feelings that are present inside you right now as you have these emotions and these feelings that you want to self-injure. So we repeat that, I am where my feet are. And then we look around the room and we identify colors and objects. Okay? So these can be any colors. Like, okay, I'm going to try and find 5 things in the room that are blue. Okay? It could be something like, I'm going to find 5 smooth textures in this room. And this is a way to start to calm yourself and to start to kind of allow your brain to function on a wavelength other than self-injury. And I know it might seem a little silly and a little hokey, but there's a lot of different strategies we can try. Maybe not all of them work, but this is a really good place to start. And I think it's something, before we tackle kind of the relationship with your parents and the pressures they're putting on you, and if my involvement with them in particular is going to be helpful, which I am more than happy to do. I think it's important that we start to try and work on these thoughts and actions of self-injury, okay? Because it makes me really concerned about you. And I would hate to see this continue. You have so much to offer, and you're so bright and brilliant, and I'm not the first person to say that to you, and I'm sure it gets boring being complimented like that, but you're brilliant. You have so much to offer, and this is something that we can absolutely work on together, okay?